All right, 3-4 defense system. Coach Brady, we're going to talk about some drills we use, just some simple drills that we will use with pads, without pads in the summer. Part of our lifting program, our off-season stuff, and also during the year. Some basic stuff. All right, so we don't want a lot of teaching in these drills. That's why we like them. They're simple, right? You put them in, okay, you go out there, you get it done on the field, we get the time in. The kids get to move their feet, move around. At the end of the day, what's important is our guys getting work, right? Creating muscle memory. I think a big one, we talk about all the time. We're going to put this in a meeting and talk to them about it. But once we get out in the field, let's not make it a lecture hall, right? We don't need a coach talking for 3 minutes during a 10-minute period. Most of our periods are between 5 and 10 minutes. You're going to do some of these drills for 2 to 3 minutes max, maybe 4 minutes the most. So you got to really limit how much you talk on the field. We want to work on the field. I think that's a very important part, especially for some young coaches. We get in the habit of wanting to hear ourselves speak, I think, sometimes. And what's more important is going out there and getting the drill done and getting our guys moving and getting the muscle memory taught and done over and over and over again. I think that's very important, okay? These drills are for every position, okay? They're going to be listed as some of them as linebacker drills, but really all of our position groups on defense do all these drills. Because we expect all 11 guys in this day and age to be athletic, be able to change direction. They have to. The things we're asking them to do in this defense, because we're moving and slanting all the time, we're asking nose guards to loop for contain. You got to be able to have some semblance of athletic ability, change of direction, be able to play in space. And these drills are teaching those kind of concepts, to move in space, to react to what you see, and to have your brain fire fast to your feet, right, to change direction. And those kind of things. So very, very important. All right, I think this is also something you should take with you, drill descriptions. All right, so one thing we like to do on our staff is we're going to give that drill a name, whatever that name is. The kids start to associate that name with that drill. That's important, okay, to understand it. Commanding intent. What are we trying to get done with this drill? I think it's important. We're in the why generation now with kids, right? So they're always going to say why when you tell them to do something. So let's give them the reason, okay? Here's why we're doing this drill. We are doing this drill so that you can react to a change in the middle of a play on defense, because defense is reactionary. We know that, right? Okay? The third thing is going to be, this is important for your drill. What do you need? How many players, the space needed, okay, and the equipment. Coaching points and description of that drill. Okay? And the last thing is variations. There are so many ways to accomplish multiple skills with the same drill, right? You can add things to drills. So you're not just doing one drill and working on one footwork. You can work on 2 or 3, 4 different things or skill sets that guys need to play DB or linebacker or D-line, okay, within your drills. Okay? You only get so much time every day anyways, right? So you want to try and do that as much as possible. But I highly, highly suggest, with your staff, these 5 things, they force you to be organized as a coach, to understand what you're trying to accomplish on the field. And when you get out there, you'll be a lot smoother. If these are talked about before you meet with the kids, when you meet with the kids, and then you get on the field, you're ready to roll, okay? So let's get started. The first drill for us is called the Navy drill. I'll show you what it looks like real quick. It's going to be, we're going to have 7 cones with a linebacker in the middle, okay? So we're going to put an athlete in the 5-yard box. Then we're going to place cones 10 yards out. The easiest thing is to use the sideline. Put them right in the sideline so you have the lines going this way. So you have easy 10-yard markers. All right. He'll always start in the middle on a cone in the middle of the box. All right. That's where the linebacker will start. The coach will be right in front of him on the sideline, as you can see from the picture. Okay. So here's our linebacker. Our coach will be standing right up here, right in the top of the drill. We call this the Navy drill. I don't know why. That's what we call it. All right. One of our coaches went to the Navy. So you're right in the middle of the drill in the front. You're going to direct the player. What we usually do is have the players, okay, behind in a line. So when one guy finishes, the next guy sprints right in. They sprint right to the cone and start chopping their feet. Okay. So that way you keep this drill going pretty fast. So as soon as you run into the drill, you go to this cone, put that cone in the middle of your feet. You gather, right? So we're working on entering a drill and gathering right away. So you sprint to the cone, we gather down on the cone, right in the middle of the drill. Our eyes are on coach, and then coach is going to give us a direction. Depending on the day, the coach may give 1 direction, 2 directions, how many you want. But let's say as a coach, I direct you here, which will be to the first cone. 1, I'm going to sprint to that cone. Now, It's up to coach whether I come back and do another one or I leave the drill after that point. All right? So once we get to that cone, we're going to sprint to that cone and we're going to gather at that cone like we're making a tackle. Now, if we're doing 2 that day, you'll sprint to that cone, you'll gather on the cone, coach will blow the whistle. On the whistle, you turn, you sprint back to the cone. Okay, again, you gather, get set, face the coach, run on your feet, it gives you another direction. Okay, let's say he tells you straight back, so you got to turn and run. You get to that cone, you gather, blow the whistle, you leave the drill. Okay, once you're inside of this box, you're always running. That's the most important thing in the drill. We don't want anybody walking in the drill, walking out of the drill, or jogging. You are sprinting, as fast as you can when you're in this drill. You're sprinting to the location of where you're going, okay? All right, we're gonna give inside or outside movements, okay? Player will feel accordingly, but again, it's also about who your group is. So as a coach, if I have a bunch of D linemen, I can do more drills, more directions that meet their needs, right? And what they're gonna do on an everyday basis on the defensive line. Okay, if I have DBs, I'm gonna do more drops, okay, and those kind of direction changes. All right, we're gonna give lateral movements left and right, vertical movements, angular movements. These are all things you're gonna do during a play in a football, and we're gonna try and teach that muscle memory now with this drill, okay? And last coaching point, important, at the end of each drill, okay, the player runs back to the middle. Okay, there are a lot of ways to do this drill. You also can do this drill where once you start, the coach gives you an initial direction and he keeps moving you from cone to cone. So for example, if I started here and coach gave me back corner, I turn and run on a 45 to back corner. When I get to back corner, he gives me another direction. He may give me fire forward to this cone. Then he may give me shuffle back, open and run, okay? All different techniques and drills we can use within that one drill called Navy drill. It's up to you, okay? All right, so moving on. The shed drill, okay? Obviously, we talk about getting off blocks a lot, okay? We want to teach our guys how to keep their momentum against multiple blockers, okay? And the more you do it, repetition, the better you should get at it, right? Collision, separation. Collision, separation. That's what we're trying to teach here, okay? And the most important thing, as always, whether you're tackling or blocking or getting off a block, is going to be your feet, your body posture, your hand placement, okay, and how we're moving. And our feet should never stop, right? We should have active feet when we're doing these drills, okay? Here's a picture of shed drill, how we start doing it. These could be guys with bags. They could be guys with shoulder pads on, however you want to do it. We're going to work here. Okay, it's just a level drill. We're gonna have 4 to 5 yards between these bags with a ball carrier in the back, simulate a finish to the play. So important notes about the drill, okay? Remember, the blocker's gotta understand the drill is not for them. They're not trying to knock that guy down, all right? In the beginning, we want them to be kind of soft, actually, we can work on the technique. Now, as we get better, we can be more forceful with that bag to simulate a game situation and somebody trying to come and block us in a game. I think that's important that our guys understand that. Okay, for this drill, we're gonna need shields and cones. That's really it. Okay, I'm gonna put a cone for where my linebacker is. I have a cone here. I have a cone for my ball carrier. You can even have cones for your blockers if you want. That way you can keep them in line. When we use this drill, we usually move every play. So you go from linebacker to running back to bag 3, bag 2, bag 1 to this line, right? And we just circle through the whole drill. So it wouldn't make sense to have 5 cones. So you could have a cone here and then 3 cones where they should be standing with some space between them. We don't want you guys to get too jumbled up when they're taking on the blocks. Obviously, you want to have spacing. Each block is a new collision, right? And each block is a new rep. We want to make sure we get quality reps. We only get so many, right? So we're trying to get quantity of 3, okay, in one drill, but also have 3 quality reps during that time. So I think that's very important how we attack that, all right? Okay, the linebacker, you're gonna attack the first bag, you're gonna shed it, you wanna keep your outside arm and leg free. So the first time through, you might just do dip and rip. You know, we go attack, we dip and rip the bag, go to the second bag, dip and rip, third bag, dip and rip, and then we're gonna gather and tackle on the back, right? The next time, we may go take on the block, okay, collision, separation, get off, right? Or here and rip. Okay, whatever you want to coach. You can coach, get rid of the guy, right? Button press, get rid of them, shed them. You can teach here and rip across. All right, well, these are drills we can work on with our guys. So the most important thing is that collision on the bag, then I'm going to get off, and I'm going to attack, okay? And we're going to finish with a tackle on the back, okay? I think this is a very, very good drill. And again, there's a lot of different variations of this drill. You can dip and rip the first two, and then collision the third one, lock it out, get off, and rip, and tackle the running back. You can have the running back go the opposite way and force our guy in the last bag to two-gap it, right? And work off the bag and make a tackle. You could dip and rip the bag, have the back go away, and force this guy to run flat. You know, beat the block, and then go get the football. So again, a lot of variations to a simple drill that we can get a lot of quality reps out of. But you know, what's important here again for all these drills are the guys that are being the rabbits, the guys holding the bags, the guys playing dummy ball carrier. They got to be a part of the drill too. They got to help the guy doing the drill get better. All right, line drill. This is a pass coverage drill, okay? Really more for our linebackers and DBs, but sometimes our D-line drop too, so it doesn't hurt them to do this drill once in a while. It also creates reactionary responses. So we're going to have a wide receiver, okay, on the line. We have a linebacker 5 yards inside of him. We're going to say set go on the ball. When we let him go, he's going to open on a 45-degree angle. He's going to drop. He's going to see the quarterback, who's the coach, or just one of our quarterbacks with the ball. Okay, as he's dropping, he's going to work to intersect this vertical route by the receiver. This is something we do very often in our defense, right? Very often we have guys that have to redirect a receiver going vertical, right? I got to see him with the corner of my eye, but I also got to be able to see the quarterback. So as I'm dropping on a 45, I see him coming, but I'm still seeing the quarterback. And when that quarterback breaks to throw the ball, I got to be ready to break. Now what we're trying to do in this drill, okay, we're trying to simulate game situation where I'm going to reroute that receiver and then break on a football. So what we talk about is when I'm going to reroute a receiver, I have to have my feet ready in a good position to break on the ball. Okay, because where's the ball going now? The ball is not going to the guy I'm lined up on, right? The guy I'm rerouting is not getting the football. Okay? What's the quarterback doing? The quarterback sees this. The quarterback's right here. He's like, okay, that's where the backer is. I'm throwing the ball there right now. So now, as a linebacker, what we talk about, when you make contact, as you see right here, prepare to break. Your feet have to be in a good position, right? A solid base where you're ready to press off and push to where that ball is going. Most often, if I'm working to my left, right, the quarterback is throwing the ball to the flat that same side. Because you got a vertical route or a vertical push by a receiver, there's probably somebody outside of him getting the football. So we're going to work that drill of being able to reroute and see the ball. Keep them honest though. Sometimes we'll throw the ball to the vertical route right here. Because quarterbacks are also taught to throw this ball behind the ear of the guy rerouting number 2 with the vertical route. Could be number 3, whoever it is. Okay, a lot of our players have to do this technique. So again, we're working on, okay, number 1, running to a spot and rerouting somebody in space. I'm working on seeing the quarterback and reacting to what he does and where he throws the football. It's very important for the coach or the guy playing quarterback to be really good with his shoulders and his hands to simulate where that ball is going so we can work on getting that break and changing that technique. All right. Irish drill. We call this the Irish drill. Okay, we're going to start on the sideline. Again, this is about changing direction. Again, for any position, working on getting ourselves under control in space, gathering. So we're going to start on the side. We use the sideline here. We're going to start facing the sideline. Okay, the emphasis here is body control. Okay, you want to be able to attack the line of scrimmage, or we're treating the sideline as a line of scrimmage. It says there, right? But we're going to use the sideline because it's a good border for us to use. We're going to drop, change direction, sprint. And attack, you're ready to gather at the line of scrimmage. What's really important in drills like this is kids go full speed. Because in the game, they're going to go full speed, right? They're going full speed when it's game time. If we don't practice at same speed, they're not going to learn how to do it at full speed. So really force these guys, when they come out of their burst, as they're dropping on the 45, as you see right here, I'm dropping on the 45, I'm on the 10-yard line, I'm going to the 15, all right? If you want, you can put cones there. It's up to you. You don't really need them, all right? But if you wanted to, when you first start doing the drill, to get a point of departure to go to. But I'm going to work on a 45 to hit that other line, and I'm going to press forward on a 45, okay? But as I'm dropping, okay, when my foot hits the ground at that line, I got to right now burst full speed and get used to changing direction. And within that 7 to 8 yard space of time, now I'm going to speed up as fast as I can, but then I got to slow up as fast as I can. But I'm working on that skill set. That's going to happen in the game. I'm going to sprint at somebody. I'm going to go from 0 to 60, then I got to go from 60 to 10 really fast once I get to them, right? So that's a drill we're doing. We're trying to simulate in the game for those guys, okay? All right. We're going to foot fire at the top. Again, that's up to what position you have. DBs will be different than everybody else. But we get to the top of that drop, I'm going to foot fire, pat my feet. DBs might just L drill it. Okay, put that foot in the ground and break. But whatever you want to do, work on something consistent for those guys. Keep their feet, talk about keeping their feet inside the hula hoop, right, or inside the bucket. We don't want to have feet too far apart as we go make our break at the top. So when I get to the top here, the top corner, I want to have my feet in that circle, and I'm going to foot fire down to here. I'm going to get here, I'm going to gather and break down. So I get there, I gather, I break down, then the coach sends me again. Either a clap, or a whistle, or the ball, whatever you want to do. I like to use the ball for the break, so as they're dropping, when they get close to that line, as soon as my hand comes off the ball, now they're going to break, okay, on a 45. Now, at the end of the drill, I like to put a guy here, an extra player, maybe the last guy that just went. Well, after you go and break down, you stay there and stand right there, and you stand there as a fit position for the last guy. So I have a guy standing right here. I take my drop. As I get to the top of my drop, quarterback has the ball. Okay, I take my hand off and throw the football. Now you break. When you get to that position, you're going to gather, run your feet, and just fit up on the guy. If you want, you can finish it. You can have the guy work on the uppercuts, grabbing cloth, hips, right? Step on his toes and take a step with the guy and lift him off the ground. And then next guy's up. You can do it without pads, right? Without pads, you're working on just the footwork of it. And that's the most important part of this drill. It's all footwork, changing direction, hips, that kind of stuff, all right? And again, there's a lot of variations of this drill you can do. You can make it a vertical, downhill, drop 45, vertical, drop 45, come straight back. Okay, there's all different ways you can change this drill. Number one, to keep it different for the kids on different days, but also to work on different skills and different movements. All right, pass rush drill. Again, everybody in our defense has the opportunity to blitz. Even our third level guys, our corners, our safeties, are going to be some kind of opportunity for them to blitz as well. We'll at least teach them some pass rush technique. This drill's been easy for us and effective to teach all the different moves we want to teach. We're going to put the guys just in a straight line. Again, back to that same as the block to feed drill. We got 3 guys with bags. If you have the big, tall bags, the pass rush bags, they're awesome to use for this. You can use bodies, whatever you want. The biggest thing here is we want to make sure we understand what we're trying to accomplish in this drill. Okay, we want to work on our pass rush moves. And again, we believe in having one basic move and one counter. So we're going to work on those moves in this drill. Okay, it's important that if we are clubbing or denting, if we don't have a body, if we're using a bag, make sure that we're clubbing in front of that bag. All right, so for example, if this is a bag, I want to make sure I'm hitting the air in front of that bag. Okay, because if I'm hitting the bag, that means I'm hitting the body. We always talk about hitting the wrist. We're wrist to elbow on our pass rush. Okay, so in this drill, I want to be on the wrist. So I want to be making that move. I'm getting close enough. When I grab the guy's wrist, okay, and it's a person standing there, we should have our hands out in a good position to block them, so we give them a good target. But I want to make sure I get that wrist with my dent, okay, or with my club. That I'm getting that wrist, okay, and I'm getting that arm down so we can get a path to the quarterback on the pass rush, okay? As we go through the first time, we're just going to stay in a straight line, right? We're going to go we'll go dent to the left. So if I'm the linebacker here, I'm going to come up with my hands. I'm going to dent, rip the first bag, second bag, dent, rip, third bag, dent, rip, okay? That's a move that all our guys can use. Our DBs can use that move. We're going to work also on getting we can get our hips involved and our head to detract the opposite player. Okay, these are the skills. We want to teach these guys how to pass rush at every position. Then we go through and do club rip as far as that goes. All right. The next level is going to be, now we're going to go right, left, right, left. Okay, so we're going to start on the right to the first bag. We're going to beat that one. We're going to close behind the bag. So beat it, go behind the bag. Get to the second one, I'm going to go to my right and use my left hand. Close behind the bag. Now I'm going to go back to my right. I'm sorry, my left, but use my right hand, okay, and close behind. Once we've done that a few times, it's important to have a quarterback as a finish. Okay? We want to have somewhere to go where there's a quarterback to finish. So I get to that last bag, I make my move and say I'm going this way. I run the circle tight as I can, and now I have a spot. Say it's over here. Okay? Well, if I go around the bag this way, I'm going to run the circle to that bag. If I'm going to the left here using my right hand, I'm going to run around that bag and go to the quarterback right here. Okay, they work on getting that strip sack, work on pointing that toe, running the circle. That's how you get sacks. That last finishing part, okay, of getting to the quarterback, okay, and running that circle is going to be very, very important. You know, and we'll do this drill. We'll get 8 guys, 7, 8 guys lined up. Say we're doing kickoff, right, and get a bunch of linemen hanging out, especially young linemen. Here we'll get 8 guys in a line, and we'll get 8 reps. Remember, every rep has to be important. Don't rush through it. You don't want these guys getting all jumbled up. They should be about 5 yards apart so they can set up each pass rush. Okay, they really can work on their feet and their hands and how they're finishing the play. Okay, very, very important. All right, the last simple drill we do, okay, circle drill. Okay, any kind of circle will work. You can get PVC pipe put together and make a circle. There's always circles on our field from other sports where we have turf field. You just got to find a way to have a big circle, okay? So we can work on that skill set. Important points, I want to lean in the circle as much as I can. I want to point my toe where I'm going. As I'm going around, my toe constantly pointed around that circle. I want to keep my foot as close to the circle as possible the whole way around without going inside of that circle to work on that technique. The first time through one circle drill, we're going to have a guy hold the other guy up. So you have a player going on the circle, around the circle. Okay, he's leaned over. I got a guy holding him up so he doesn't fall. If this guy would let him go, he should fall down on his face. Okay, he's leaning in the circle that much. He's pressing, right? My guy's holding him up by his hip and his shoulder. Okay, he's getting used to feel. What's that feel like to run the circle and lean like that? What does that feel like? Okay, I think that's very important. Then we'll let him go on his own. And there's different variations of that drill as well. You can have 2 in a row and do a figure 8 where you're getting all the hips movement and all the different moves. But the reason I like this for every person is everybody does this at some point. First of all, with pass rush, when we finish our pass rush, we're going to run the circle. I club, I rip, I beat my guy. The quarterback's right here. I got to run the circle and get there, right? I got to run that circle to beat him and get there. Okay? On a spill block, you saw earlier on film, we were watching some of our spill stuff. Okay, our outside backers, our DN, the T tackles. When they get that spill, now they got to run the circle to finish, right? My key's down, I'm down. I go attack the trapper. As I attack the trapper now, I'm going to run the circle. Okay, lean on that guy with great leverage. It's the same technique. Point my toe where I want to go. All right. Different rip blocks in space. I'm a DB, a linebacker, I'm in space, they're running the screen, or I'm getting blocked in space. I now got to dip and rip a block. As I dip and rip a block, again, my second foot coming through, where I point that toe is very important. And I'm going to run the circle, because if I go around the block this way, where's the ball carrier going? Inside of me. So I'm going to beat the block, but I'm going to be able to redirect because I already worked circle drill. I've worked on that technique of being able to change direction. And the last one is blocking kicks. Go to any NFL practice, you'll see them using circle drill to block punts and field goals with their DBs and athletic kids, right? So we're going to work that as well. Our guys that block kicks, okay, they're going to work on using that technique as well to stay flat, stay nice and low, be able to lean. Again, this is also about leverage, playing with great leverage, very important. So these drills, simple drills, again, most important part of these drills is going to be to coach them in the meeting room. Make sure as coaches we're on the same page, using the same lingo and same words when we put them in. But when we get on the field, let's work. Okay, get these guys moving. It's muscle memory. Got to get these guys. We don't want to be standing there talking for most of our period. We got to get these guys going. And at some point, because they start to learn the drills, if it's called Navy drill or Irish drill or whatever the drill might be called, right? They know now. Okay, I know what that means. We can do that drill. Okay, and this is something they can do at home as well. And that's the ultimate goal, is for these guys to be at home doing these same drills that you taught them to work on their skills.